Cove number 0. Dear stranger, if you're reading this letter, I'm probably already dead. Or maybe, just maybe, I got lucky and managed to leave that God-forsaken place behind, walking away from stalking for good. But mark my words, no treasure, no relic, no thrill will ever drag me back to that cursed settlement. Forgive me if my story comes out jumbled. I'm writing this in a rush. I think they're nearby. Still, let me explain. My name is Alexei. Alexei Fomin, though the boys used to call me the Walker. Fellow stalkers, like myself. After the Stalker and Fallout games blew up, a whole subculture spread across cities like ours. Young guys crawling through ruins, chasing adrenaline, and filming it all for YouTube. That's how I got pulled in. But I did things differently. I didn't waste time on your everyday abandoned buildings. I was after real Cold War relics, decommissioned military bases, state research sites. The darker, the better. I wasn't looking for weapons. I hunted civil defense kits, first aid boxes, army gear, stuff I could flip online to other fools like me. But the real prize, old documents, photos, letters, personal histories sealed in time. That I kept for myself. I was always into history. Like many Stalker fans, I dreamed of Pripyat. But with everything going on in the world, that wasn't an option. Not anymore. So when someone offered me a shot at Kamchatka's own version of Pripyat, I didn't hesitate. And that's how, 1 week later, I found myself wandering the deserted remains of Finval. Finval, also known as Beshenivka, or Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky 54, or simply Bay 0. A ghost town where back in Soviet days, a nuclear subbase once hid in plain sight. The place is a skeleton, a military compound, a few admin buildings, a crumbling school and daycare, and maybe 10 Khrushchevkas. 2 of them 5 stories tall, the rest just 3 floors. Most windows are shattered, everything is falling apart. But I managed to find one apartment, 4th floor, windows intact. It overlooked the bay. It felt oddly peaceful. I'm not going to tell you how I got here outside of tourist season. In July, not March. I won't risk exposing the person who helped me. But that doesn't matter now. What matters is what happened next. I dropped my gear on an old armchair, unpacked a portable stove, and brewed some coffee. Rain started falling. Cold, gray, relentless. I wasn't worried. I had my thermals, my mat, my sleeping bag. I'd rest tonight and explore tomorrow. As I sipped my coffee, I paced the flat, watching the rain blur the view of the bay. And that's when I saw them. 2 tall figures, easily over 2 meters, wrapped in black cloaks, walking directly toward my building. One of them stopped and pointed straight at my window. Ice ran down my spine. I dropped away from the glass and pressed myself into the shadows of the room. My first thought, security, maybe cops. Though all accounts said this place was off-grid. But deep down, I knew. It wasn't them. I wished it was. I scrambled to hide my things in the next room, covering everything with whatever trash I could find. Then I crept to the door, cracked it open and listened. Footsteps, crunching debris, coming up the stairs. No doubt about it. They were heading for my apartment. I panicked, dove into the wardrobe like a bad joke, like some idiot hiding from his lover's husband. I should have bolted to the flat across the hall. But in that moment, the closet felt like the safest place on earth. I held my breath, prayed they'd pass. The door creaked open. 2 of them entered. They were hunched, their movements twitchy and wrong. And the sound. They spoke in whispers and hisses, a language that felt like shards of broken glass in the air. Not Russian, not anything human. I'd left a slit in the wardrobe to watch, and what I saw still haunts me. They drifted through the rooms, swaying like seaweed in black water, their long arms folded close to their chests. They found my stuff quickly, but didn't touch it. Just dragged it into a corner like trash. Then came the scream. A man's scream, raw and torn. Another stalker, maybe. He was dragged into the apartment by a third cloaked figure. A rusted hook jammed through his shoulder. He kicked and thrashed, his howls bouncing off the walls. But it was no use. The creature hauled him across the floor like a sack of meat, blood painting a trail behind them. The figure carried a backpack, probably the guy's. It slammed the stalker's head against the floor, once, twice, until he fell still. Then, one of them pointed at the wardrobe. The others turned, cocked their heads, and let out a horrible, warbling noise. A cross between a seagull's cry and steam hissing through a pipe. They were mocking me. They knew I was there. But they didn't open the door. Not yet. They were waiting, teasing me, saving me for later. And then they dropped their hoods. I whimpered. Couldn't help it. They weren't human. Not even close. They looked like shrimp. Humanoid. Shrimp. Walking on 2 legs. Their faces were crustacean horrors, sparse tufts of gray hair clinging to their heads. Instead of feelers, huge black spider-like chelicerae jutted from their mouths. But their eyes were worst of all. Horizontal, goat-like pupils glowing amber. Their hands were almost human, pale, blistered, like skin scalded raw. I froze. They picked up the stalker and tossed him onto a desk directly across from the wardrobe, so I'd get a clear view. One of them ripped the hook from his shoulder and plunged it into his gut, slicing him open. The man came to, only to die screaming. A grotesque end. Then they began to eat. The leader tore out handfuls of liver, stomach, intestines, passing them to the others, who devoured the flesh with those snapping chelicerae, slurping and twitching with excitement. Blood and half-digested gore flew through the air. They chittered in pleasure, their limbs spasming in eerie delight. One of them unrolled a tongue, long, pale, covered in suction cups, and plunged it into the man's left eye socket. He was still alive, whimpering. The tongue twisted and yanked the eyeball free, nerve and all. The creature showed it off before shoving it into its mouth. The second did the same with the other eye. Then the third, when the eyes were gone, picked up a dumbbell and bashed the man's skull in, over and over, until it split like rotten fruit. He leaned over the corpse and sucked at the brain, bits of bone and membrane spitting out between gulps. They didn't eat muscle or bone, just the soft parts, the core, the mind, the soul, maybe the heart, maybe the lungs, maybe the tongue. I don't remember clearly. My mind was fogged, poisoned by terror, and when they'd had their fill, they left, quiet, unhurried, like dinner guests leaving a party. And I remained, trembling in the dark. For 30 minutes I couldn't move. My limbs were numb, my skin soaked in cold sweat. When I finally stood, I nearly fainted. The world swam around me. I stumbled into the next room and peeked outside. Rain still fell, gray and endless. I started packing, needed to run. But the door creaked open again. I bolted to the corner, heart in my throat. No one entered. The door opened, then shut. A message. They were still here. I didn't know what else to do, so I pulled a notebook from my bag. I always carry one, for maps, for notes, and began to write. This letter, the one you're holding, they didn't touch my gear, didn't even seem interested in it, just tossed it aside. Some may call me a fool, writing instead of running, but I hear them. Still, opening doors, watching, waiting. And this letter, maybe it'll serve as a warning. Maybe someone will find it. Maybe they'll escape. If you're reading this, run. Get the hell out of Bay Zero before they find you. I think they're still here, circling the building, waiting. For what? I don't know. It's deep into the night. I hear garbage shifting outside. Strange chirps and clicks. They're talking. Planning. Maybe about me. If it weren't the 4th floor, I'd jump out the damn window. Maybe that's why the glass is still intact. A trap. For idiots like me. When the sun rises, I'll try to escape. There's no point running now. Too dark. Too dangerous. I'll stick this letter to the window frame. Maybe someone will find it. Maybe someone will believe me. I wish I'd never come here. I wish I'd stuck to fishing. If you think I'm insane, imagine it yourself. All I expected was cops or other stalkers. Not humanoid shrimp with goat eyes and a taste for human brains. My hands are still shaking, but the noise outside is fading. Dawn is near. If I survive, I'll never come back. The walker is heading out. Hopefully, not for the last time. The letter, stained with blood and pinned beneath a stone, was found by tourists on a bench near the abandoned pier. The investigation yielded nothing. No body, no blood, no sign of a break-in. At least, that's what the official FSB report claimed. Stamped and sealed. Top secret. As for the author, Alexei Fomin is still listed among the missing.